It's another beautiful Saturday. As always, we are much obliged to have you join us on Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio. My name is Sonny Duke Okosi, your host to the most on the show. In today's program, our major focus will be on expectations from the incoming administration, particularly as it relates to the constitution of the Federal Executive Council, because there are feelings in some quarters that part of the reasons why the present administration didn't live up to expectation is because of the characters, the quality, and the capacities of those who became part of the Federal Executive Council. So today, the talk is that an incoming administration must look out for men and women with proven integrity, with the capacity, with the knowledge, with the skills. Men and women who are aware of the past, of the present, and of course the future, to be able to make impacts in the governance and development of our dear country, Nigeria. As usual, we will keep you up to date with all of the happenings in the build-up to the inauguration of the President-elect Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I'd like to welcome our panelist on the show today, a veteran grassroots politician, public affairs commentator, Barrister Gentleman Amego. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
We also have with us on the show a politician, a lawyer, public affairs analyst, an author, and of course, a social crusader, Barrister Ishe Wilkie Elijah. Thank you for joining us in the program.
Good morning to every viewer and listener.
Okay. We hope that Barrister Greg Iyayi will find the time to be here on time for us to have this conversation this beautiful Saturday morning. Let me begin with Barrister Gentleman Amego. Major concerns that have been expressed about the present administration is its inability to get the right men and women, what we generally describe as putting the square pegs in the square holes or the round pegs in the round holes in different levels of governance, particularly the MDAs, to be able to fast-track development. This government is passing out. What's your assessment? Let's start off from there.
Well, there has been a problem in this country of putting a square peg in a square hole. You will tell me, Duke, what a square peg in a square hole means. Shakespeare once said, there is no art to find a man's construction on the face. You move on in life, even your own brothers, even your own good friends. How do you know who they are? Now you tell me, who are those to be appointed in positions? This is a very common thing in Nigeria. Oh, you have been elected, look for square pegs in the square hole. How do you determine the square peg in the square hole? That has been our problem. If you say we are looking for those in air-conditioned rooms, the professors, and you yourself, you also know, sir, that many professors have failed us. So who are those people? How do we meet them? You also know today, Nobel laureates, all of them book writers, call them a senior advocate of Nigeria, they have all been tested. Many of them have been tested and have failed. So when people like you, sir, continue to tell politicians, hey, look for square peg in the square hole now that you have been voted into power, give us the yardstick for getting such people from among us. Because you also have university graduates among politicians. You are underrating politicians that they cannot do well. But you have the engineers, you have lawyers, you have all of them too, like you have in the world.
Okay.
How then do you know which of them is going to be productive? So, in any case, governance is not by one person. Whoever becomes a governor or a president has to compensate those who work with him. And who are those who work with him? They are politicians. You can't go outside politicians and be looking for somebody else to come into the executive council. The same politicians who put you there will bring you down. You alone cannot be there and say, oh, all of you have been working for me. Many of them left over for so many months now. So if they are appointed tomorrow, say, no, the same crop of people. Is it going to go outside those people and then go and bring those who are in London, those who are in America come and govern. What of those who are at home here, who have been working with us? So it's pre quid quo, something for something. That's what we must do. It's something, if you have worked hard to make sure I'm elected, I should also compensate you. Not to leave you aside and go and look for somebody somewhere. That's a wrong thing to do. And in any case, Mr. Okosu, those of you who preach this sermon, you are disrespecting politicians. And why do you disrespect politicians? Why? They are also university graduates. They are doctors and engineers and lawyers. Why do you disrespect politicians? They can never do well. Of course they can do well. Among them, among these politicians that you people deride, would perform brilliantly well.
Okay. Well, I'm the anchor of this show, so I can't join issues with Pastor Gentleman Amego, even though he has taken a swipe at me. We're asking the questions that part of the reason why the present administration didn't live up to expectation was because, in a sense, we didn't have square pegs in square holes. You make a lawyer Minister of Works or Minister of Power. The lawyer did say that within 6 months, if they are not able to fix the power problem in this country, he should be stoned. But he has continued to work in that ministry, and other ministries given to him to handle. But today we know the situation of power, and it's still there. But that's a matter for another day. Okay. But let me get Barrister Ishe Wilkie to respond to this. Yes, quickly.
Yeah, well, from my own angle, I would say that those who are in government, they did their best according to their ability and capacity.
Okay.
So we say, because it's not easy to be in government. It's very easy to criticize people when they are there.
Yeah.
But if the same opportunity is given to our major critics, and to serve the nation, you will be overwhelmed, or rather you'll be surprised. You'll be overwhelmingly surprised at their performance. But for me, I think that the performance is actually a societal problem.
That's right.
It's not so much about the politician. I think that we as a people, we need to be better organized. We need to be concerned about our own different communities. The question is, the Ojonwere, for instance, the Ojonwere of the street, the Ojonwere of the community, how interested is he in the improvement and the development of the people? We go further to the states, and from there we go to the federal government. So because there is a default at the societal level, at the community level, I think that is what reflects at the state level and at the governmental level. But I think that the people actually need to know who they are. The people need to know. We need to know that you are important in government. The power of government, the power being utilized by the president, by the governor, by the local government chairman, is actually not his own.
Yeah.
It's actually your power.
Okay.
The people need to speak up. We shouldn't be mute. We should, raise eyebrow. We should agitate. We should let those who are in government know that you are not performing. Because if we do not say anything, we make them live in peace, as it were, thinking that, applauding themselves as if they are performing.
As if they are performing.
So I would say that the non-performance of those in government, and particularly of, if we have any quarrel with Buhari, his administration, or the state administration, local government administration, should actually be the burden that we bear as a people, that we have not really come out to do much as to draw their attention to their inability to perform.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll come back to you in a moment. If you just join us, you're still on to Politics Today on independent television and radio. Our focus is on the expectations of the incoming government, particularly the constitution of the new Federal Executive Council to fast-track development and bring it to speed with the realities on the ground, a clear-cut departure from what obtained in the outgoing administration. We'll take a short break. Our third guest, Barrister Greg Yayi, will be joining us on the program. Please stay with us. Many thanks again for joining us on Politics Today on independent television and radio this lovely Saturday morning, the 6th day of May 2023. We've got Barrister Greg Yayi joining this conversation. Barrister Greg Yayi, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you too.
Okay, let's just get you into the heart of the conversation in terms of a comparison between successive administration and then even this last administration in terms of the quality of the members of the Federal Executive Council, and using that as a benchmark to give your expectation or set agenda for the incoming administration.
Well, the members of the Executive Council, they are actually the ones that drive the program of that particular administration. And I feel the quality of men and women there will determine the speed, the competence, and also the outputs of the Executive Council. For the last administration, I don't think it was really that we lacked some men who were brilliant and who were really willing to do something. But I don't know what happened along the line that what the expectation of the people did not match with the manifestations of the administration. But we are hoping that in the next dispensation that things will be different, because you cannot rule out the quality of men and women. Many administrations have taught us that, the Gowon administration, the Jonathan administration, that the quality of men and women that constitutes a membership of the Exco at the federal level particularly will determine on how the agenda will be driven and how successfully we will have, the expectation of the people realized. And we're also hoping that the gloom concerning the outcome of the election will not impact negatively on what the administration will go, because we can't rule that out, because the people are part and parcel of the process. Not just the government alone, but also the people. Because if the people do not cooperate with the government, to a large extent, their expectations may not manifest.
Okay. Pastor Mendo, I will say that from the first line of thinking that you expressed, you're saying that Constitution of the Federal Executive Council should be politicized, that we have seen over the years. That's what I'm thinking. But we've seen governments where key component parts of governance, technocrats were brought in, and they need outstanding and tremendous differences. I'd like to get a take on this.
Maybe you will have to prove to us the technocrats who made success of everything.
Where I came.
Where is it?
Yes.
You got angry.
You got angry. Why did it? Because when I was angry. Yes.
Because when the center cannot hold, things will definitely.
But did she make any impact?
Well, she did. Well, you want us to go back to America now? Or Europe to go and bring ministers to come and govern in Nigeria? That is not possible. Well, you see, the problem is very fundamental. If, as I said earlier, if the center can go, things will follow. Are you going to say, for example, that Fachola is unqualified to be in the Executive Council? Are you going to say Dr. Igigi is unqualified to be there? Are you going to say that Mechi is unqualified to be there? Are you going to say that Osibanjo is unqualified to be there? What we lack is commitment.
With part of who? The people or the elites or the leadership?
Commitment, the principal leader, the arrowhead. He has to wake up early morning and say, look, Duke, I want this report before 2 days. You will be running a scatter to get that report to his table. Oh, somebody there, something happened. He has a helicopter. He has drones in his office. He has a map of Nigeria there. If anything is happening, he touches that place and he's told what is happening. And then he calls you, oh, Koji Awela, go to Sabisa Forest. Something is happening there. Go and let me know exactly what. Leaders don't sleep. They sleep 2-3 hours a day. It is the commitment that we don't have in this country. Many people, many politicians, if you like, we are going there to award contracts to make money. That's not it. It's more than that. But again, the head has no way of knowing who to appoint. He will assume that Okosun is doing well. But by the time Otogun guys, they want to ride a Rolls Royce. He forgets the purpose for which it was put there. That's our problem in this country. It is not the individual. It is the commitment we are looking for. For a leader who wants to make progress, if you are not doing well, 2 weeks after, you don't need to wait to the end of 2 months or 2 years before you relieve any minister that is not performing. If you are not performing to his expectation as a leader, then sack him immediately. You have the power to employ and power to sack.
So you're saying the challenge is more with leadership than those appointed?
Of course.
Using the Buhari administration as a...
Precisely.
Yes.
Precisely. We have had many occasions that many people have been killed in the railway station. Something is happening somewhere. Buhari is just there in his house. He doesn't even care. He doesn't make any statement. He's my party man. He doesn't make any statement. You see, in other places, you see Biden. If anything happens in Massachusetts, he flies there immediately to go and see what is happening. That is because he has the people at heart. He is to govern the people in that country. But there's no commitment here over from leaders. We are talking of electricity, for example. Obasa just said it, that if he couldn't stabilize electricity in the country, the job was on the line. He could not, but nobody voted him out. He was voted back after he made such a promise. Fashola has come as a lawyer. I will agree with you that probably it's not perfect, but as a lawyer, he's supposed to know what to do. He knows. But now that he's not productive, what is Mr. Buhari doing? Fashola, you go. Duke, come and take over from him. It is the commitment, sir. It's not the number of degrees that we have that will make us call them technocrats. Technocriticism or whatever you call it. It's just got to be its commitment. I want to see this thing done and follow it up to the logical conclusion. Yeah. If it's not done by who is supposed to do it, he fires the person.
Okay. Let me come to you, Barrister Yaya. I'll come to you shortly, Barrister Ishe. We have had this as an issue raging, between technocrats and politicians. Who are the best people to be in governance? Or we should have a mixed breed so that while the politicians are doing their political things, the technocrats are doing their technical things, or that they are technocratic things to drive the governance of the country. Let me get your take on this.
The assets. You see, there has to be a mixture, and like you mentioned, it has to be a mixed bag. Because the technocrats, they have insights, and also they are devoid of political coloration or sentiments when they are taking decisions. And when you say somebody is a technocrat in a particular area of discipline, it means that he has proven track record of excellence in that area in many places where he has served, like Okonjo Iweala, Batunaji, in the area of energy. These were people who were sound and who were fine. And then, if you remember Philip Ashodu, in those days, in the petroleum industry, it was very sound.
So those technocrats are needed. But let me say something. You see, governance is about politics. And the political association or political party is the best body that aggregates the views of the people. And when they're in power, they're supposed to drive these views for the benefit of the people. So you cannot exclude the politicians, and it wouldn't be fair to do so. For instance, when Bill Clinton was president and they brought the list of, after winning the election, they brought the list of ambassadors. He looked at them. These were excellent men and women, and like you said, they were technocrats. But what was his comment on the list? He said, where are our friends? Our friends were not there, because when he met with the leaders of the party later, he said, those of them who fought with us in the streets, and those of them who were out there in the cold, in the heat, we cannot exclude them in the name of wanting technocrats to be there. So let us have a certain percentage of technocrats, maybe 40%, strategic capitals of the world, and then let us have politicians who know the game and who can play the politics of that country that we are sending them to. So I believe it should be a mixed bag of technocrats, and it should also be, the last speaker was talking about Fashola. I do not know the sense in making a lawyer. By the grace of God, I'm a lawyer, and we are all lawyers here, three of us. We are proud of our profession. If Fashola is given Ministry of Justice, one wouldn't mind Ministry of Chieftains or Ministry of Social Welfare or some other ministries, but not Ministry of Works that requires a professional. So it's like making a politician the Minister of Health. You know, we need a doctor or somebody from the health sector. So please, there are certain ministries that require technocrats, but there are other ministries that I believe politicians should manage and manage for the benefit of the people.
Well, as I said, we've had this history of politicians, coming into governance, and they see it as part of their entitlements by way of political patronage. And so at the end of the day, that overrides their thinking and their judgment. The contracts are awarded, they award those contracts to themselves. Those contracts are never executed, and that becomes a minus on the part of the government of the day. Is this a concern to you? If it is, what's your expectation in the incoming administration?
Well, my expectations about the incoming administration is that of performance. And I say that because the president-elect is a politician and has been there for quite a while. He was the governor of a state, and he has his brigade. So, and we have people who, through him, have become either governors or they have become vice presidents and all that. So he's coming with his brigade. So he already has an idea of what performance is. It is acclaimed that he performed very well as the governor of Lagos State. So we also expect that the master plan of Lagos State, which worked in Lagos, will also work for the nation. And since he's a politician, of course, and he's coming with his brigade of politicians, we also expect that politicians will have a fair share in the appointments. Whether some politicians, some technocrats have actually become politicians. So we have it has technocrats and politicians, or politicians and technocrats who are in his brigade, and we expect that he will put them to work and make Nigeria work for all of us. But I want to re-emphasize what I said earlier. Our attitude as Nigerians to government has to change. It is not because they are politicians, it's because they are Nigerians. If a corrupt Nigerian becomes the commissioner, or rather the minister for works or for any ministry, you can expect that it's who he is that is going to express while in government. So that's why I say that we first of all need to address our people. We need to know that the power belongs to us and not to those in authority.
Okay.
So if we come back, like I said earlier, to the average Nigerian, let's go to the civil service, let's go to the offices. How honest or corrupt is the clerk? We go further to the director, and if we go further to the commissioner, so we see that we have the character of not really caring for our people. I had an opportunity to travel out of this country, and I was told that in a certain area, or where generally, that you must maintain your lawns. If you don't, you reduce the value of the area. So everyone in that estate, or I would say estate, they maintain their lawns. Why? Because of the community. But in Nigeria, we are more concerned about what we are getting for us and what we are getting for, not only for us, but even for our children and grandchildren. Let me use this as an example.
Okay.
I was in court one day at Okada, and the secretary of a community was in the witness box, and it was being cross-examined. The question was this: the money you collect from your community, do you have a bank account where you drop this money? The secretary said no. The lawyer now went further. Do you have a record of all the monies you have collected on land? Do you have a record? He said no. So now I said, okay, what do you do with the money? He said they go to the town hall. Okay, what do you do when you get to the town hall? He said we share the money.
Okay.
So the judge was angry. And the judge now said, is that Buhari? No, that is not Buhari.
That's right.
That is not the governor.
Absolutely.
So you are selling the lands, you are keeping nothing for your children and for your grandchildren. You are not developing the community. You cannot even grade your community. You are leaving everything to the state government and the federal government and local government, state government and the federal government. No, things don't work like that. We must first of all love our own community. If you in your street, you must love your street. You must care about your street. You must care about your lungs. You must care about your gutters.
Okay.
When you go to some areas, the gutter is smelling and all that. So now, if you cannot care for your gutter, for instance, and you now become the governor, what happens?
What are you going to?
What will be your contribution to the environment and to the society?
All right, let's proceed.
I was coming this morning. I drove past UBTH, University of Benin, and I said, "Oh my God, Ubemudia had a vision. Look at the whole. Look at over 2 kilometers square.
Yeah.
Where could we have gotten that land? Where will you get that land today?
You can't.
Which community will you get that land?
You can't
but
get
he had a vision. And when he was an administrator here, he was still going to fight wars in Asaba. Still going to Asaba to go and fight. He didn't even bother about the position. He gathered the technocrats that people are talking about. That's what he's moving.
And they were not politicians.
They were not politicians.
Okay.
And they performed extremely well.
Okay.
But we are talking about technocrats. Is Wole Soyinka not a technocrat? He was given a job, he ran away. Is Tai Solari not a technocrat? He was given a job and he ran away. So who are they that are the technocrats? Let us know them. So I will go and beg them to come and govern.
But Mego, you know, the population of this country, unestimated, is within the region of 200 million. 250 million, okay. Yes. Now, in the U.S. government, there are Nigerians who have been given appointments by virtue of their capacity.
That's right.
So are we saying that when we scan through these 250 million Nigerians, we can't get quality personalities to fit into the square holes to make this country work? Is that what we're saying?
By what method do you get it? That's what I'm asking.
By their proven record.
Which are the proven
By
record?
the impact that they have
You
made.
go and get a
By
professor.
jobs that they have been given before to do, and they live up to expectation. We cannot say because politicians worked for a political party, and as such, all the political appointments, we give them to politicians who will sit down there, steal the money, chop the money, do what they want to do, and then cover it up, and then we'll take them to court, to EFCC, to ICPC, and it continues. With the money that they've looted, they start fighting back, the cases will not get any headway, and at the end of the day, the people continue to suffer.
That is the weakness
And
of the
the
leadership.
people are still
It's
mute.
the weakness of the leadership.
So
That's what
my
I'm
own
saying.
quarrel
If
is
a
that the
leader-
people are mute.
Okay,
If a
let me get
if
you.
a leader is focused,
Yes.
it cannot happen.
Let me get you to respond to this, Barrister Greg Iyayi.
Let me just make a comment about what that they have said about the insurance.
Started the road safety for the state government in Oyo. It was the Oyo model that Babangida saw and decided to federalize it, so to say. And it was made the head. He did not run away. He eventually, you see, you cannot keep doing one thing all your life. When he felt that he has established the road safety up to a certain standard, and he had grown.
He had a right to complain.
Yeah, he had the right also not to. And he let me tell you, Taishadari was made the ombudsman director in his state for 3 states, which was a federal appointment. Because he was convicted of a traffic offense, he forgot his driving license in the office, and he was driving a pickup belonging to this thing. And they flagged him down, and they told him, "I'm coming." He resigned on the spot. How many people will do that to a traffic offense?
How many ministers have been?
So we cannot say that the person failed or ran away. First of all, yes. Yes.
And the impact you made with NAFDAC.
With NAFDAC, or the Technocrats.
Yes. No, we can't. Yes. So there are a number of them like that. I mean, you have. Yeah, it's a question. Yes,
It's a question.
We can't forget about Dr. Adishina.
Dr.
African Development Bank. Yes. With what he did, and now he's at the international level. So we have these people in abundance.
Yes.
We have them in abundance.
I agree with you 100%.
Yes, but you are saying that who has worked must chop.
No.
Is that not the cause of the problem that we have?
No. My
Okay.
problem is with leadership.
Okay.
I am saying they are there. But when a leader discovers that they have become so ineffective,
Yeah.
so corrupt, you don't need a second advice. You fire the person immediately because of who you are. That's, of course, if you are also clean. You fire, if you have not gone to do any dirty business with any minister,
Yes.
then you can fire him.
So give me-
Today, the whole world is at a standstill
Yes.
because of coronation
Of King Charles.
we have had so many kings that have been coronated. We have a king in Spain. We have a king in Japan. We have a king in Holland. No one has taken much time like that of the
Taking the world by storm. As we
today,
have, yeah.
Today, in fact, I reluctantly left home because I was watching the coronation because they have held that position with honor, with dignity,
And integrity.
And integrity. They have held that. Here's a Dutch. I came to UK many years ago. They are worshiping a stone of destiny today. We don't worship stone of destiny. He's going to take oath before the stone of destiny stone. So that's what I am saying. If you are a man who can lead like Obama did, for goodness sake, any day he discovers that somebody is not doing well, he doesn't need to.
So let me put you on the spot, Barrister Mego.
Yes.
Barrister Mego.
Yes, sir.
You can scan through the outgoing administration.
Yes.
Can you name 5 ministers you think they should have been shown the exit door for such a long time in the present administration? 5.
Well, you and I will know them.
No, I don't. I'm asking you. I'm asking.
I mean,
Yes.
People go on strike for 8 months. For goodness sake, no solution. Why should that minister still remain on that table?
So mention the name of the
You,
minister.
I don't know. You know. People were on strike. People were on strike. for 8 months.
That's one.
That's one.
Yeah,
That's one.
Yes.
Look at East-West Road. For almost 20 years been awarded. See no progress. You know the person is charged.
Okay.
So why did he stay there?
That's 2.
So, and well, the other man in railway, okay, well, we have rail line now, which was dead. So we can say he has done his best.
Okay.
So there are others you know that I don't even know. So I'm not mentioning any name, but you know them.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
Mr. President doesn't need to wait for his wife to advise him
Before
he takes that decision.
All right,
Bam.
but I say, yeah, perhaps this will be an easy task for you. 5 ministers that should have been shown the exit door long time before, because we have seen this pattern where ministers now sit at ministerial position as if it's an inheritance, and they are just whether they are performing or non-performing.
I do not know why the Minister for Works was left there for that long. With the poor state of our roads, complained about by even party members, that you won't say they want to just smear the administration. Because the roads are used by everybody, members of the party, a tribe, all. So then, what has Ngige been doing in that position? He's a medical doctor, and he has been, workers go on strike, people go on strike, and then you are talking of negotiation. And I watched him a few days ago saying that he earns just about 100, just about a million, and everything is that. But we also know that there were some other undisclosed benefits. What is the average wage of the Nigerian? 30,000 naira. He did not see the need to tell the government to review the wages. When there was clear evidence of rising inflation, eroding whatever the supposed increase in salary would have been. What about the Minister of Education? NUC regulation says that if they strike for more than 5 months, that session will be cancelled. Look at after the COVID ravage on the educational system, why could we have allowed a minister to remain in power for that long? And nothing has been done to him. We are talking of railway. Okay, we are talking of railway where they were kidnapping people. We are talking of railway to outside the country when there was railway inside the country. And that minister was left. Nothing has been done to him. What about the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, who said that she was not aware that Bayelsa was overtaken by floods during that period when the dam in Cameroon was supposed to have been opened? When you saw Governor on Kenu, you saw presidential candidates on Kenu, she said she wasn't aware. When money was being shared to others, the Bayelsa was left. And when she was confronted, she said she wasn't aware that they were overtaken by flood. A coastal state, very vulnerable to erosion. And the full day of everybody was shocked. Believe me, you don't watch the television. You are not on social media, you don't read the newspapers. That minister is still holding tight to her post until today. Well, May 29th is around the corner. Yes, so let's
shift. But I said, yes, your top 5 ministers that should have been shown the exit door. Yes, I'm still on this.
For me, I wouldn't want to.
No, just you can act like Barrister Mego without mentioning names, but just talk about the ministry like Barrister did. Yes.
Well, you will spare me the agony. I would say the agony of flogging the dead horse. They are already gone. But I would rather want to see that way forward. I think that the incoming
government
president should, first of all, amongst everything, we know that the ministers will go with him, but I think that the service chiefs should go with. Okay. I think that should be the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that our number one challenge in this country presently is that of security. Yeah. Whether in our little cul-de-sac or street or avenue, or in the city, there is, or towns, villages, not talk about the forest and the forest reserves, we know that there is a serious breach of security. Insecurity has taken the major stage, and I think that is what, yeah. And thereafter, yes, other things can follow. But I think that should be
number one.
What we should think about. Let's forget about
all right.
the
If you just join us, it's still Politics Today, just on the verge of capping it up today, this lovely Saturday morning. Quickly, you know, this election was a very tempestuous one, and there's been talk about the need to have a balance of power. Now, the executive is said the president-elect and the vice president-elect. We're also looking at the National Assembly, the Senate, and then the House of Representatives. What's your take on this issue of balance of power within the legislature, Mr. Mego?
Well, we are talking of balance of power every day in all the papers. We are tired of reading so many things. Again, we are going to come back to square one. Will the right person be put there? We don't know. Because people are talking of relationship with Mr. President-elect to be able to say, oh, it will go there, it will go there. Unless the president-elect says something now, nobody is ready to do it. Even the party ought to say, okay, we are zoning XYZ position to such and such side of this country. Our own party has not made any statement. And so a lot of them are on the field, lobbying and campaigning and flogging dollars, not naira, dollars here and there to get the position. We wish them luck. Whoever gets it, gets it. Somebody are already running to outgoing president. Please, sir, I'm interested in becoming the Senate president. Please, sir, I'm interested in tell the incoming president-elect.
To pick me.
Is that what it should be? Definitely no. Because the legislature is independent. They should be able to go to their house, sit down as a family, and then let whoever they think will be able to lead them.
Yeah.
We are talking of leadership. It's not going to the forest to cut timber.
Okay.
They should be able to choose for themselves.
Okay.
If they fail there, then the country again has failed.
Okay. Bryce, I share quickly. Leadership at the National Assembly. What's your take?
Yeah, I think that the leadership at the National Assembly should reflect the quarrel or the complaint of the Christians, because already the Christians are already feeling like they have been marginalized, that you have the Muslim ticket. So I think that, let's say, the president of Senate and also the speaker I think that they should be Christians, just to be able to match the fact that you have a Muslim president and vice president. I also think that the quality of those who will lead the National Assembly need to be, we need very strong personalities. Okay. We need people who should be able to say to Mr. President, no, and not people who will be like a rubber stamp and, people will say whatever the president says is what we have said. But I think we need a really strong leadership at the National Assembly. I read somewhere that the opposition parties, that is Labour Party and APC, they want to also project their own, sorry, PDP, yes, they want to project their own candidate. So I think that this is good for democracy. Yeah, so if they can project their candidates and their candidates can match the candidates of APC, I think it will be good for the nation. Okay. So
Barrister, quickly talk to me about, the election that we just witnessed changed the dimension of participation, particularly political parties at the National Assembly election, at the National Assembly. So along with that, what are your expectations?
If it happens that a candidate from another political party other than that of the ruling party, emerges as the president of the Senate, Speaker of the National of the House of Reps, It will be very good because look at what is happening in America. It's working well for them because McCarthy, you know, the issue of Taiwan, which causes tension. No, McCarthy was able to raise a bipartisan delegation. They visited Taiwan to assure them that we are with you. The American people are with you. When Biden was castigating Israel at a very trying time, McCarthy went there during their 75th year celebration to reassure them that America is already losing ground everywhere, but the legislature is building confidence in the allies of America. And that's because, you know, it's a different party. We look forward to that in the National Assembly, not a rubber stamp assembly that cannot speak truth to power. And you know why? Just like our daddy has said, some of them are going out to the executive. And if the executive is the one that appoints you, then you are going to answer to them and not to the people who elected you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, that's our last lap on the show today, but let's just quickly, you know, the coronation of King Charles III is ongoing in the UK. I mean, the world is literally at a standstill to witness this august occasion. I mean, leaders from all across the world are in the UK to be part of this great coronation. The ceremony is really, really going on. But there are some interesting developments that has been dominating the national and international discourse. One of them is the one raised by our very dear Vice Gentleman Amego, that the incoming king, or the king that is being coronated now, will be bound before a stone or something. Let's just take a stone of destiny. And there are a lot of questions and issues, you know, around that. But let me just ask on a general scale your expectation on King Charles III. Mr. Amego.
Well, he's not going to depart from what the mother did. You know, he's a complete gentleman. But he's able to carry his people along. Okay. And that's what's very fascinating about him. He's able to bring his children together now. He's able to, the British people are already coming on the side. I watched it from 9 o'clock to 10 this morning. I was very thrilled by what is happening there. Okay. But you see this kind of thing once in a lifetime. I was quite happy because so many things we didn't know. Right? They keep their own tradition. But we throw our traditions away and imbibe the traditions of foreign people. I mean, stone of destiny. Go and swear to the stone. Stone is stone.
Is that not paganism?
It is pure paganism.
So he's a pagan.
Now, even when the mother died, before the mother was buried, he took a ram there. If you watch it, he too himself, Charles, took a ram to be slaughtered in the mother's grave. He did it before they removed the crown and said, go back to your creator. Okay,
all right.
So it's very interesting.
Barrister Isha, yeah, quickly.
Well, for me, we are members of the Commonwealth, but I hope that King Charles III will, with his coronation, appreciate coloration and you know, appreciate the black people and the black race. Okay.
All right. I'm sure there's so much to say about this, Barrister Gregory, because there's been talks that one of his major disposition is to do away with the church. Yes. So let's get your take along those lines.
I fear for the monarchy, the British monarchy, because we are told if the foundation is destroyed, there's hardly anything that can be done. The church is the foundation, whether we like it or not, of the British society. That's what made them prosper. That's what made them develop. That's what made them rule the world. If you feel that you have developed up to the extent that you can do away with what your foundation is, I wish you luck. And if anything happens to any such person, I, for one, will not be sorry for him. Because if you are turbaning an emir, you do not ask a bishop to come and join the imam in officiation. That is identity. Yes, a plural society, accepted. Integration, accepted. But you have to have your personal identity. And the personal identity of the English monarch, or British monarch, is the church, Christianity. And that foundation, I feel, he should not make the mistake of abandoning, because it will be fatal. I fear for the monarchy. And I want to say I fear for the monarchy. I do not have time to explain. That mascot, that ram, is the mascot which all British regiments have. It was not the lamb for sacrifice. And I don't have time to explain what the stone of destiny is.
Okay, so it will be a subject for another day, Master Greg. Yeah, but our time is up on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. We hope you had a great time with us on the program. If we had more time, probably would have opened our studio line so you can also call and be part of the conversation. But that's how far we can go today. Let me say big thanks to our panelists. From my extreme left, Barrister Greg Iyayi. Even on the short notice, you're always there. Thank you so much. And joining us for the first time, I'm sure you're going to be seeing his face more frequently on the program, Barrister Ishe Elijah. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And we also have our veteran here, Barrister Gentleman Amego. For whatever reason, he just made me the subject of his discussion today. But it's okay. It's okay. That's our program for today and for this week. Do have a great weekend. I will say big congratulations to the British monarch for the successful coronation of King Charles III. We hope that his reign will bring forth prosperity and change the fortunes of the monarchy and, of course, all the former colonies and, of course, the entire British country, as it were. But doing away with the church is a big issue that is already taking a big stage in terms of discussion globally. But that will be a matter for another day. Have a great weekend, and bye for now.